The Pishacha of India are evil beings that haunt cremation grounds in search of victims. They are said to feed off of life energy and even eat human flesh. Some are able to possess a victim, altering their thoughts and driving them to insanity. Their ability to shapeshift into any form and turn invisible makes them a formidable threat. The Strigoi of Romanian mythology are said to be the undead corpses of troubled and corrupted souls that rise from their grave to feed on the blood of their victims at night, often their own families. They can transform into animals and turn invisible, and can only be killed by waiting until they return to their coffin in the day and driving a stake through their heart or burning them. Sound familiar? Belief in the Strigoi has survived well into the modern era. The Asan Bosam is a vampiric being from southern Ghana. It is fiercely territorial and will attack and feed on anyone who wanders under its tree. They are pink-skinned with long red hair, sometimes have wings like a bat, and they have metal fangs and hooks on their feet, allowing them to hang upside down from the branches, as if lions weren't scary enough. The Jiangshi, also known as the Chinese hopping vampire, is a reanimated corpse that hops through the night feeding on the qi or life force of its victims. A Jiangshi may come into being when a soul fails to leave the body on death due to an improper death, or if a corpse is struck by lightning, or if a pregnant cat jumps over the coffin. One might also catch the Jiangshi virus, which will transform you into a Jiangshi. The Souquiant is a vampiric being from the Caribbean. In the day, it takes the form of an old woman. In the night, the woman opens up and unleashes its true form, a fireball that flies through the air and into their victims' homes to feed on their blood. If the Souquiant drinks too much blood, the victim will die, or worse, become a Souquiant themselves. Seen any mysterious fireballs in the night sky lately? In 19th century New England, USA, a region already haunted by a history of brutal Christian fundamentalism and bloodthirsty witch hunts, whispers of the dead rising from their graves to feed on blood spread from farmyard to church pew. Bodies were exhumed and mutilated, their organs burned. Of course, not a single confirmed victim was found, and by an extraordinary coincidence, the vampire pandemic coincided with another pandemic, tuberculosis. Ignorance, superstition, and fear had taken New England again, or had it. The Bauban Shi from the Scottish Highlands are part vampire, part nymph, and part fairy in nature. They are said to prey on men working out in the wild. Many a man far from towns and cities miss and long for the company of women, and the Bauban Shi appear as beautiful young ladies in long green dresses that hide their deer legs and hooves. They will dance and intoxicate their victims until they're too drunk to fight, as the mysterious beauties drink their blood. In the folklore of the Balkans, we find the Dhampir. They are the sons or daughters of the sexual union of a vampire and a human. They make powerful sorcerers, can sense supernatural presences, can walk in the daylight, and their blood is acidic to full vampires, making them immune to attack. Because of the latter, they were said to make formidable vampire hunters. The Vreikolokos of Greece, the name confusingly coming from the Slavic word for werewolf, is a vampire that is said to look swollen and bloated, and has a hunger for human livers and a tendency to spread plagues. In Greek folklore, one might become a vampire by being excommunicated, ruining a religious day, committing a terrible crime, or even eating meat from a sheep killed by a wolf. To prevent such people from becoming a vampire, one must pierce the corpse's heart with iron nails and cremate them. The Nachzehrer of German folklore is a vampire that not only feeds on the living, but also on itself. Said to be the result of a suicide, the Nachzehrer rises from its grave and feeds on the blood of its own living family, and on its own flesh. It can be killed by beheading, and finding it is apparently quite easy, as the angry mob need only tread quietly and listen for the sound of it chomping on its own rotting flesh. Truly, of all the vampires on this list, this one must be the most accursed. Like and subscribe for more mystery or history.